Don't mind me. Just dropping in with another ArieForce One Construction Update. What's up guys, Dr. Coaster here on behalf of the Georgia Coaster Connection, and welcome back to another ArieForce One Construction Update. Before we get started, I just want everyone to know that all photos and footage included in any of these construction updates are free to use with credit. I'd also like to thank my Georgia Coaster Connection partner Christopher as we gather this content together. I'll link his pages down below. I returned to Fun Spot Atlanta once again on Saturday, April 16th, and I once again have some exciting new updates to share with you all. I've pretty much been doing these weekly, and I'm still impressed by what RMC has been able to accomplish each week, even on the weeks when the weather makes construction difficult. Let's start in the storage area behind the parking lot. As usual, I started by walking back to this area that has served as a staging area for RMC as new shipments arrived to the park. Last week we saw the RMC crew unloading some new supports that could be seen sitting here this week. If you pay really close attention, you can kind of begin to suss out which pieces of the track are which for the beginning part of the ride, depending on their shape. However, while looking at this is always exciting, similar to the last couple of weeks, there wasn't anything new there this week, so I moved on to check out the beginning of the ride. Before I could complete my walk across the park, I was thrilled to spot a huge development with regards to construction. The construction zone has once again expanded, and it is right here next to the arcade where the barrel roll will pass over the building going into the second turnaround. Last week I reported that there was some movement starting in this spot, but I wasn't expecting this spot to receive this much attention this soon. From what I can make out, RMC is preparing to pour a giant footer, as I'd imagine this whippy element over the arcade will require some solid support. Expect this footer to be poured very soon, and after it sets for a while, expect to see the ride passing over the arcade soon after. Expect the hard hat zone to eventually expand from this current spot down to the barrel roll in the coming months, likely done in sections as to not impede the guest experience by having to shut down rides. These views that you're seeing here will be where that's going to happen. Okay, now it's time to see what's going on at the lift hill. If this is your first time seeing one of these updates, you might be surprised as to how far the construction is already. Within the past few weeks, RMC has topped off the ride and begun adding track for the first time. Last week I was fortunate enough to see RMC actively working on installing the blue section of the lift hill and first drop to the ride, and figured that it would be installed within the next week. And boy was I right. Not only is the lift hill completely finished with red track as well, but the first drop is almost completely installed as well, and man does it look beautiful. This truly is going to be one of the most photogenic coasters ever built. I didn't notice any new developments on the Raven Trust Dive during this visit to the park, but they've got the supports nearby, so I'd imagine this will be part of the next week's progress. After checking out the progress on the lift hill and the first drop, I headed to the back of the park to follow up on the exciting developments from last week, where we saw construction finally beginning behind the arcade. Apparently what I witnessed last week was the beginnings of the supports arriving behind the building, because today there's now a fat stack of these supports sitting in their spot waiting to be lifted into place. I'd imagine footers may need to be poured here as well, so it still may be a while until we see this happen. But it's still exciting to see this progress regardless as we get closer and closer to seeing this ride open this summer. Thank you all for watching. That was the 7th of many ArieForce One construction updates to come. If you don't want to miss out on more construction updates like this, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, as many more of these will be coming leading up to the opening of the ride. If you haven't already, then also be sure to follow Georgia Coast Connection over on Instagram, your home for all things ArieForce One. If you're feeling inclined, then you can follow me as well at Dr_Coaster. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.